It's like when you used to go to qualifiers in Starcraft. I don't know if any of you ever knew this. Okay, so all right, let's rewind time. Okay, so we are what is it? We're in September of 2021, or as some people call it, March 480th. So next year in the summer, okay, next year in the summer, it will be July 2022. Okay? At that point, StarCraft 2 will have been out for 12 years. The amount of time between that and when StarCraft 2 was released is the same as the amount of time between when StarCraft 2 was released and when I started playing StarCraft 1. So just think about all the shit that's happened in the last 11 years. Add another year to that, and that's how long I played StarCraft 1 as the only game that I played. Okay? And obviously, I'd do a draft here in Magic, and I'd like play a little bit of Chrono Trigger. But I mean, I'm talking like I would do one non-StarCraft game a year kind of thing, okay? So if you think about the way that modern esports, and I'm using modern in quotes because there's so much shit that's still wrong, but that's fine, right? It's been improving. It's so much better than it used to be. But modern esports, right? If you want to play your game competitively, you log on and you hit play and you're in, right? I'm interested in learning Age of Empires 2 competitively. Guess what? All the players just play on the ladder, and the higher you go up, the more you face good players, including the literal top pros, such as those who are at the Red Bull tournament this weekend or week. Okay? You just go and you hit play, and you're getting to play against legitimate competitive players. You also have things like postings for various events. You can just Google, I want to play, widget craft tournament, and you look, and there's ones happening every weekend. Sometimes the developer is even hosting some sort of event that plugs directly into their matchmaking system, so you succeed in the 1v1 ladder and you get dumped into the weekend event. You succeed at the weekend event, you get dumped into a live event where you can show up and sit back down at a fucking computer and play on the big screen. Right? Get out of the way, Despy. I'm ranting. Despy, please. Please. Thank you. I feel so emasculated when she does that. Everything is just so structured, and it's so elevated, and it's so clean, and it's so frictionless, and there is still friction, but I want to stress to you the way that competitive StarCraft esports stuff used to work. YouTube did not really have any traction until about 2008. 2007. When I say traction, I'm talking about with respect to video sharing of gaming content. In fact, most gaming content was banned from video platforms, even up to 2010, 2011, 2012, when I started my career in broadcasting. Again, game kind of being banned. So, again, in 2008, 2007, I had already been playing StarCraft competitively for like 9 years. So, there was no video of what anyone was doing. There was no centralized location. The Blizzard StarCraft 1 ladder was fully hacked. So that meant whatever rating you wanted, you would download your hack and you would type 9999, enter, boom, that was your rating. Congratulations, you're number one. From number 1 to number 1000 on the official Blizzard ratings was just 99999, right? Just all the way down. There was absolutely no participation on Blizzard's part in the actual competitive scene. And then what happened? Well, people started wanting to play competitively. You know how you found other people to play against? You just had to know someone. You had to learn that there was a channel that if you went to, good players were there. How did you know? You just had to hope that you randomly stumbled into one of those people in the game listing. Have I talked about the game listing in StarCraft? Okay, let me explain to you the game listing in StarCraft. Go to Craigslist, click on anything, and then you'll just see a listing of shit to buy. That's exactly how the StarCraft matchmaking gaming went. You would just go play, and it would just be a bunch of shit. And it would be like 4v4 big game hunters, parentheses, free beer. Like, you could name your lobby. Is that insane? You could name the lobby. Oh my God, I can't believe we ever trusted people with the ability to do that. So you just like look at these and be like infinite money map, weird use map settings game, tower defense, use map settings game, big game hunter. And someone would be like 1v1 Lost Temple. And Lost Temple was like the first legit map I don't know why I'm doing so many air quotes today. Legit. Oh, it's not so legitimate. You should do under quotes. Legit maps. How would you know that Lost Temple was a thing? You just had to know. You just had to know. You had to like seek out. You had to find. You had to like slowly crawl through the internet and learn things. Google wasn't even really a notable thing. It was fucking Alta Vista. It was Ask Jeeves, man. People used Yahoo. Ugh. I mean, this is how you found out about your information. And so what would wind up happening is, and this is crazy to say, there were tournaments, notably WCG, the World Cyber Games. Now, cyber is no longer used ever except in contexts. See what I'm saying? Except in context. Back then, it still was connected to gaming because no one had fucking grown up, all right? So, back to World Cyber Games, actually started like 1999, 2000-ish. And you know how you found out about it? Posters? I don't mean foreign posters. I mean you would like go to a mall and someone would have a poster that would be like video game tournaments. Win money playing video games. Like it was fucking hard to figure out that this shit even existed. And like in 2000 and must have been like 2003 and 4 and 5, like 2002, 3, 4, 5, there was just like piecemeal information getting cobbled together on forums to learn where the hell some of these events even took place, like how to even participate. Again, there was not just like, I want to play, and you open up the client and the button says play, and you go, nothing like that, right? You just had to like figure out what the address of these things were. And so I remember there was this one year, I think it was 2003. That sounds right, 2003. There were 20 events happening all around the country, kind of spread out. So like the one that we went to was in St. Louis. There was one way north up in Chicago. There was, like 2 down in Texas and 4 in California, 1 in Seattle. It's just all spread out all over the place. And the winner got a seed to the national finals. So you had to go to your location, you had to win. Now, I'm saying 2003, but this literally happened every single year. There'd be these different regional locations. So every single year, all the good players would start being like, which event are you going to? And someone would be like, all right, well, if you go to the Chicago one, shit. Okay, I'll go to the St. Louis one. Everyone would be like, okay. Because no one wanted to play against each other. There's not that many good people. But it was like funny because I remember like there was a year where my brother and I both qualified for the whatever finals event, and like the one I qualified for was in Chicago, and the one that my brother qualified at, we lived in Kansas, so we drove up to Chicago, and I won the Chicago one, and then Nick drove down to Texas and won in Texas. So we're just like fucking splitting up and shit, man. Oh my god, it was like so fucking crazy. And like there was even these events where like people would start lying to each other about which events they were going to. They would be like, all right, I'm gonna go to the Westbrook event, and okay, I'm gonna go to the Seattle event. Okay, cool. But someone would be lying to the other one, and they'd all be sneaking off to the Las Vegas one. Or they'd be like, yeah, no, we heard that so-and-so was going to Las Vegas. So you'd wind up in these like funny things where you would just be like on the forums, like refreshing, and someone would be like, all right, 3 people bullshitted each other, and they're all at the same event. And so it would be like 8-year-old child whose dad was at the mall and saw there was a tournament. And then 3 of the best players in North America, and those were the only 4 players at the entire fucking qualifier event, right? It was like these like insanely weird sort of things. And there was this one year where for some reason there was this kid who went to the Las Vegas event, and there was some sort of, I don't even remember what it was, but like literally nobody showed up except for like a 12-year-old child and this child's father. And so this 12-year-old kid won the Las Vegas qualifier. And so this was like another year. This was in 2005, yeah. So like there were 16 players who were qualified for the national finals. And so there's like 15 good players, and the mysterious, the legendary Las Vegas kid. And so, we get to the event. I remember I was hanging out with Artosis, Dan, and there's another Terran player named Asem. So the Warcraft 3 players, like Wizard and Ironclad. And we're all hanging out and talking, like Warcraft 3 players like asking us a little bit about like what we're going to be doing and what we're thinking about the event. And Dan goes, does anyone know who the Las Vegas kid is playing? We got to redraw. And I'm like, dude, I want to play fucking Las Vegas kid. No, I'm sorry, this was 2004. This is 2004, right? So, and so all the StarCraft players started to slowly find each other at the hotel. They started to slowly come together. And we're all like, has anyone met the Las Vegas kid? And it's like, no, I've met the fucking Las Vegas kid. And it's like, okay, does anyone know anything about the Las Vegas kid? Like, is he good? I don't know. Because again, I cannot stress to you enough. There's no fucking Twitter account. There's no ranking. You just played in full isolation and just hoped you were good. You know what I mean? It was nuts. And then Dan and I were walking back to the hotel. Me and our hotels were walking back to the fucking hotel. And there was this kid who was just like with his dad, sweetest dad. I was like, hey, are you two young gentlemen participating in the World Cyber Games tournament? And the reason he asked us is because we were holding fucking keyboards in Long Beach, okay? And I went, yeah, no, we're playing WCG. Well, this is my son. He attended the Las Vegas event. And this kid that was like so small, the kid actually, if we're being real, the kid kind of looked like this fucking thing, right? Like, there he is. He was just like, hello. Like, imagine instead of a mushroom for a head, this is a human head. And imagine if instead of a hand, it's the same hand that's there, okay? He just comes out. Hi. Did you know that if you build a dark Templar really fast and they don't have detection, then you can kill their workers? And Dan and I looked at each other, and I looked at Dan, and Dan looked at me, and I know we both thought the same fucking thing. We both went, God, I fucking hope I rip this kid to shreds in round 1. Please, God, pair me against this child. Like, that's the thing. It's like, I don't want any harm on this kid. But we take those. We take those wins. You know what I mean? We take those wins. I'm not ashamed of that. Like, I sometimes queue up Dota. 3 of the opponents disconnect, and we win the game in 8 minutes. Great. Perfect. Give me the points. I had a great night. Drinks are on me. Like... So Dan and I just looked at each other, and we're just like, fucking pair of the Vegas kid? Who got pair of the Vegas kid? So it turns out, like, the brackets were drawn, and I was not against Vegas kid, but I was like 1 away from Vegas kid. And it was just like, God, fuck. Oh, and I was like, God, Dana, you were so fucking almost, like, you almost got to play against a Vegas kid. And then it turned out that they messed up the brackets because they thought that one person didn't show up. So they had to redraw the brackets. And guess who got to play against the Vegas kid? Guess who got to? Dan Artosis Stemkowski got to play against the Vegas kid. Now, I don't know if any of you have seen the Revenant, I think it's called. And I don't know if any of you who watched that movie remember the scene where the bear met Leonardo DiCaprio. Let's just say that Artosis was playing like 350 APM, his optimized build order, like splitting 3 control groups, like just absolutely steamrolled this kid. And the thing is, remember, like, this is during an era where there's nothing for competitive players. There's nothing. We have nothing. We have nothing at all. This is our one event each year, and it's hard to even find out how it happens. This is our one thing. And so when Dan won that game, I remember he turned around, and Dan had this... All right, on to round 2. he was like, all right, cool, awesome, perfect. And and I was in the fucking hell bracket. I was way on the other side, man. Oh, I had a horrible, horrible time in that tournament. Oh my god, like every single round went to game 3. It was fucking so stressful. Great, man. That was the happiest I've ever seen Dan in my life. Pandora Star Bases, did the kid get destroyed? Oh, he got knocked out like as quickly as a person can get knocked out of a tournament. And his dad just hung out with his kid and went around Long Beach and they had a great time, This fucking kid just had heard of StarCraft and played StarCraft and, it was like a thing, for him it wasn't the thing that he had sacrificed his entire life to pursue like me and Dan did, right? That's not what this small child was. Mad Empires and Subvertos being children. Now that I'm saying that, I'm starting to... I'm slightly worried it wasn't Dan that played against him first round. I'll ask Dan. We'll host Dan and be like, Dan, you played against the Las Vegas kid. First round 2004, right?